Good evening. This is Dr. David A. Padgett, Associate Professor of Geography and founder and director of the Geographic Information Sciences Laboratory at Tennessee State University. I'm also serving as a lead technical assistance provider and subject matter expert for EnDyna in support of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Community Change Grant. So I'm going to, because I cannot make maps for you, I'm going to demonstrate how to make maps of your communities using EJ Screen. So for the first example, I'm going to, in real time, live, attempt to make a map of an area of interest. And so in some cases, some communities already have an idea of the area that they want to have mapped, so to speak. And in this case, here is the map of an area in St. Louis, or outside of St. Louis or near St. Louis. And so this is the area of concern for a community. And so we're going to, and I'm gonna make mistakes. And so will you. So I don't want to sugarcoat this process. It's gonna be raw, uncut, unrehearsed. So I'm gonna launch the EJ Screen tool. And so I'm going to attempt to relocate that file. That image that I just had up here. Okay, so I've got the area that I want to map here, and I have the EJ Screen tool up. So I'm going to hit the Reports tab, and I'm going to go down to Draw an Area, and I'm ready to draw the community. And so okay, so I'm going to try to find out where we are here. So it looks like we are, zoom in, try to figure out where I am. Now, this is going to be easier for you than it is for me because I'm not from your area. So I'm going to see there's an interchange. I see exactly where this area is. So this area is a promise zone area in St. Louis. I'm going to try to approximate as best as I can. And sometimes this is all we have to work with is some map of some area, and we're not necessarily familiar with it. And so let's take our time here. Let's take our time. It can be frustrating here. So there's Highway 370. I know it's 370 intersects. I'm going to start to draw. I want to get this screen at around the same size so that I can draw this area in as best as I can, as close proximity. So I think I have it kind of eyeballed. I just want to get the full scope of the area. And that's a pretty large area. And so we have some questions to ask here. Is this really an area that is completely bound? So I'm gonna have to really be careful here to get as much space so that I can fit both of these. My target area, okay, now I've got my target area and I have my area to be drawn. And I think I've got the full scope of it inside. And I think the easiest thing for me to do is to go along the river. I think I can start to see the boundaries. It's a tricky kind of area. I'm trying to decide whether it looks like it kind of, Yeah, the promise zone is, well, we'll see. Let's draw the promise zone first, and then we'll have an idea of, and I'm just going to approximate it. I can kind of see, it's going to start here, 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 here. Let me take a look and see if I'm going in the right direction here. Um, so I'm going to clear this, try it again. Clear, clear. So like I said, I'm going to make mistakes. This is some of the same mistakes you're going to make. So let's say you make a mistake. And looks like I'm going to have to start over. And this is what happens sometimes. This is GIS. You make mistakes. It's not pretty sometimes. Okay, so again, I'm going to go to reports, drawn area. Okay, so I'm going to go along the river. You kind of see unfortunately, even though this, it's like every time I click here, this other screen is going to disappear. I'm trying to get the best angle. I see that one highway. Again, this is just an approximation. Yes, I should go, it looks like I should follow this highway out to the west. I'm getting very close to what looks like is the approximate area. Looks like we follow, let's see, looking for Interstate 70. Again, I'm trying to get as close as I can, replicating the shape that's on the screen. So I'm just going to approximate it as best as I can, because I can't draw the map for you anyway. So, but if you were doing this, you would probably be best suited printing this map out, because it's very difficult to draw it exactly, but it can be done. I can't do it for you, but you can see what I did to get as close as I can to an idea of what this area is like. So one thing that we can do is we click in here and we can get reports. We can get a lot of community data, pollution and sources for the census tracts that are in that area, socioeconomic indicators, supplemental indexes, environmental justice indexes. We can also get a more detailed EJ Screen Community Report that has data that you can insert right into your, so this is really good. You can put that into your RF, your proposal, along with tons of community information, including per capita income and other variables, racial breakdown, language spoken, age breakdown. If you're so this is looking at the data that's in the census tracts. Notice you can also so look at this for this area. This area has almost every one of its environmental justice indexes at the 80th and 90th percentile, compared to the state or the nation. That's a very powerful message to send. So we have everything from particulate matter to lead paint, traffic, proximity, toxic releases to the air, and then you get even more data: ozone, air toxics, cancer risk. Whatever, you can pick out any of these variables, and you have a verifiable source, which is the census. Okay, so and even here it says that this area contains an IRA disadvantaged community. Yes. Justice 40C just damage disadvantaged community. Yes. So you have verification already locked in. And then we have life expectancy, heart disease, asthma, above average. So a lot of indicators are built right into this tool, and you can flush them out immediately after you carve out your area. Now let's go to let's add this. Let's call this I'm going to call it just EJ demo 1, just for argument's sake. I'm going to add it to the map. Okay, so now it's part of our map. So now we can go to maps. Okay, so okay, so next I'm going to go to Justice 40 IRA, and I'm going to put in the Justice CJIS disadvantaged community tracts. And clearly you can see that the area of interest is definitely contains these tracts. And then if we add the EPA RA disadvantaged communities, then you could clearly see that not all, but most of this area includes these disadvantaged area tracts. And so there we have your map, just that simple, very easy to do. It's just a matter of drawing and then pulling the other layers in. Now, what I would do is I would not necessarily enable all these layers at once because it's somewhat hard to read. I would have this map be one map, and then have a separate map with just the CGIS layers. So clearly you have disadvantaged tracts relative to the area that's drawn. You know, pretty thorough coverage. And like I said, I approximated the area because I can't draw a map. I can't do the map for you. I can just demonstrate how to do it. And from this, you should be able to, it'll take more time, but you should be able to do it. So I'm going to take these Justice 40 tracks off and play with the layers. But I mean, clearly you can see that you have disadvantaged tracks that cover almost, not all, but almost the entire area of interest. And you can clearly show that. Okay, now the next step is to save your map and put it into a format that you can insert into your narrative, your proposal. So you just simply go to tools here. So we were here, go to tools and then print, and then give your map a title. I'm going to call this CCG Community Change Grant Demo Map. And I mean, the default format is pretty good. And if you just hit export, it'll take a couple of seconds. And to generate the map. And so here it is, a nice, neat map. You can download this map. Tells you the legend. You have your disadvantaged tracks there, map scale, so you can get an idea of where it is. I probably didn't, now, let's see what happens if we try to just get just the map itself. I'm gonna download this somewhere. It's gonna download it to my hard drive. And I'm gonna show you a couple other things that you might be able to do with this map. You know, if you so choose. So let's say you want to change the format of this map. Now, if you're using the Microsoft tool or PC, you should have, or you almost will always have a tool at your disposal called Paint. So we'll go here to the Paint tool. And I'm going to go back to our map. And I'm going to hit print screen. Go to Paint, hit paste. Notice that we get it. Now, there's a lot of extra stuff in there that we don't want. So we'll go to view. I'm going to zoom out. And I'm just going to select, crop off what I want here. Home, crop, and go back to 100% view. And now I can do file, save as, and then save this as a JPEG image. And so if I save this as a JPEG image, then I can easily, so just change the format from PDF to JPEG. So the JPEG is much, I can insert this directly into the narrative document as a JPEG. And then there you have it. And so that is just a quick demonstration of how to create a map using EJ Screen, using the draw tool. Now, what if you want to add some other layers? Now, what I would do, as you know, what I would not do is add anything else to this map. Okay, because the average person, so I'm back to our original area of concern. So let's say we want to look at other layers, such as climate change data. Let's look at the flood risk. Okay, so now we've added flood risk to this area. So some parts of this area are not, there's not a whole lot of flood risk in this area. I don't know if I would really, and there's some definitely. Let's look at the 100-year floodplain. The 100-year floodplain, you know, does have some impact, but if you were curious about your potential flood risk for this area, unless there are specific areas inside, let's say you're really concerned about maybe this community here, there might be some flooding happening within specific communities, then maybe you would zero in on those specific areas. Again, I'm not familiar with this area. I'm not from St. Louis, but let's look at an area here where we have the 100-year floodplain here. And then we also have the flood risk index. And so, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure if there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of residential property there. So maybe I'm trying to, here's something that just jumps out. Now this area here is interesting. So let's say this area is somewhat within the community of concern, let's say, and let's look at how that might look on a map. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to add flood risk to this. And I'm going to, oh, we could save this as a JPEG right from here. Let's try that. And now I'm going to export this. And so now it's already in a JPEG format. You notice the JPEG format, the quality isn't quite as high as the PDF is, perhaps. A little bit of blurring here, lettering, but you know, you've got your JPEG map here showing flood risk in this specific area. You have all of your legend already popped in here. And also, so what you would not want to do is also put the disadvantaged community tracks on this map too, because really you already have enough layers on this map. If you throw on another layer, such as the disadvantaged community tracks, it's going to get a little bit difficult to read for the average map reader. So this pretty much shows, okay, we have this community. This community is within the bounds of our area of concern. So remember, even if this area is not within a disadvantaged community per se, it could, if fixing or remediating this area will have some benefit for a disadvantaged community, if you can show that, then let's say this area could be a valid place to engage in some kind of flood mitigation, maybe if there's some greening or maybe levee improvement, whatever some of these projects wish to do, this could be shown clearly as an area that needs some sort of attention, clearly. Uh, and so that could go to your statement of need. Same thing, we can just download this. Um, We'll do save image as since it's a JPEG. And save it. And then again, you can just pop that right as a JPEG. You can pop that right into your narrative. Like I said, you've already got the legends. Title probably could be something different, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here's an interesting issue. What if you just have this? Sometimes what if you are working with the community and this is all you have? Just the bounds of, this is it. What are you going to do? So first let's figure out where the zip code area. We can use a zip code to kind of figure out where we are. And I'm going to go back to EJ's screen. I'm going to type in this zip code area 48214. Let's take the first shot at it. 48214. Is that going to get us anywhere? So we're somewhere in Detroit. Okay, so we're somewhere in Detroit. And now the question is, where is this area? It says climate. So this is a climate resilient zone, Mack Avenue to the north. Mack Avenue to the north. Let's see if we can find Mack Avenue. Okay, we did. Mack Avenue. So there's Mack Avenue. So now we've got Mack Avenue to the north. Mack Avenue might be a pretty long stretch of road. So we're looking at from Mack Avenue and Kercheval, St. Clair to the east. So I'm going to just take a guess that I'm going to try to go make Mack Avenue at St. Clair. Let's see if that works for us. Mack Avenue at St. Clair. There we go. We got it. Boom. All right. So here's Mack Avenue and okay, there's Mack Avenue in St. Clair. So it says Mack Avenue in St. Clair to the north, Kercheval to the south, and to St. Clair to the east. Okay, so this intersection of Mack Avenue and St. Clair is to the east of where we want to go. Let me try that again. Okay. Mack Avenue and St. Clair. So Mack Avenue and St. Clair here. And the next boundary is Mount Elliott to the west. So Mack Avenue in St. Clair. And then let's see, eventually we've got to run into Mount Elliott. So this will be a lot easier for you all because you all actually live in these communities. Um, I don't. I'm just trying to use my geographic skill. So we'll get to, I'm just curious to see, okay, we're still going. All right, so this is not working for me. So I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna look for Mount Elliott. Um, Street Avenue. No. Hmm. This could be interesting. Okay, there's Mount Elliott Street. And so I'm just, like I said, I can't do the map for you. I just can go through the process. Because this is not working out. So let's go back and look at our previous intersection. And I'm just showing you the whole process here. This is what you have to go through to make a map sometimes, and it is what it is. Um, so, um, okay, so we're looking for, so we found Mack Avenue and St. Clair. So we were able to find that. We were able to find that intersection. So let's see if we can find the street to the south, which is Kercheval. Probably totally not pronouncing that correctly. So let's keep going. Oh, there we go. Now we're going somewhere. Now if we go west, we've got to find Mount Elliott. So we have our boundaries, Mack to the north, Kercheval to this. Now we're cooking with grease. And let's see how far we have to go before we get to Mount Elliott. And after a while, okay, we got it now, got it now, got it now. Okay, Mount, I'm gonna try to eyeball this. Okay, so there's our, okay, boom. Okay, so now we've got it. I'm just gonna approximate it. Reports, drawn areas, so we know we go from here to here to here to here to here. Boom. So that is our, add that to the map. So that is presumably the we want green 2. I guess that should be east side, climate resilient zone. Approximately. Like I said, I can't do it exactly. And then once we have this area, then it's really easy to go in and click inside of that and get our EJ screen community report. Let's see what we have going on in this area. Um, Ooh, that's per capita income. We've got 79% people, 63% low income. Majority black. Let's see. That's a pretty high percentage of people age 65 years and older. That's 22% is above average. We have a lot of, well, that's interesting. So air toxics compared to the national percentile is not, I'm surprised by that. Cancer risk relatively low, except when compared to the state, it's pretty high. Let's look at some other variables. Particulate matter, it's above average. Ozone, let's see what else. Got air toxics, cancer risk, respiratory, TRI. Ooh, man. Um, Toxic release of the air significantly higher than the US average. So this is the kind of information that you need. Let's go look at the demographics. Let's look at health indicators if we can get those. Asthma, wow, look at asthma, significantly higher than the state and national average. That's something that would jump right out at you. You're trying to do some kind of air quality assessment, that would jump right out at you. And so again, we just hit save here, and then we can just save our report right to the hard drive, and EJ screen community report. It's another climate resilient zone. And there you go. It's just that simple. And so, of course, we can go back and layer in our CGIST disadvantaged communities. That's completely expected to have complete coverage. And wow, look at this: 5 categories, 4 categories, 6 categories. And then IRA disadvantaged communities. And again, I wouldn't put all this on one map. So yeah, you can clearly, no question about it, that you have both, complete coverage of disadvantaged communities with lots of categories exceeded. And then you can even click on the map and look at the categories that are exceeded. And so, yeah, you can make some dramatic maps here. We go to tools, print. Let's see if it'll print. The area. I might want to zoom in a little tighter. So now you can see the disadvantaged community categories exceeded for this entire area here. And now if we go to print, it's going to call this DAC map demo export. And there now you can clearly see. Look, that's a beautiful map. So you have your legend there. You've got disadvantaged communities. I mean, there's no question that your community is surrounded by disadvantaged communities. Odd what's happening. That might be gentrification there, but regardless, your area of concern is completely covered or within disadvantaged communities. And again, I could have saved this as a JPEG, got your legend, map title, pop this right into your map, and then other things you want to layer in also if you wish. And it's just that simple to make that map. But again, I can't do the map for you. Follow these instructions, rewind it back if you want to, but this is essentially how this is done, even if you only have an idea of where your community of concern is okay, this is what we think. So I found a zip code area, located the boundaries, and then produced the map by using the draw tool. It's just that simple. So I'm Dr. David A. Padgett. Hopefully this will be of help to you. Again, I cannot do these maps for you. That's why I didn't really do them exactly as they should be. But if you follow my instructions based upon what you have, you should have no problem replicating what I've just done. Again, if you have any questions, my contact is dpadgett at EnDyna.com. dpadgett at EnDyna.com. Or you can reach me at 615-258-3657. You can call me just about anytime, weekends. I don't really, stuff it won't bother me. Evenings, yes, I'll answer the phone. If I don't, just leave a message. Or if you text me at that number, I can get right back to you. So again, thank you very much. And let me know if you have any questions.